The following program is presented to you by the Hope Channel Network.
Today on Between the Lines, Dr. Bruce Wrenn, an expert in teaching us how marketing and Christianity can actually have a good marriage. Stay with us today on Between the Lines. Welcome to Between the Lines. I'm your host, Samuel Thomas, and Heather is joining us today. Heather, how has it been for you since we were together last?
Good. I'm excited about today because we're
why
going
are
to
you
be talking
excited?
about building strong congregations. And as you know, I'm a pastor's wife, so a large part of my life is devoted to building a strong congregation.
Well, we have an expert with us today, Dr. Bruce Wrenn, and he's an individual who has spent his life understanding how to market with Christian integrity and ethical standards. That level of communication of what's good and what's the best thing that can actually attract people to your church. And if you're not church, knowing how to market even your business from a Christian standpoint is worth noting. Dr. Wrenn, thank you for being a part of today's broadcast.
My pleasure.
Now, a lot of churches don't even think they need marketing.
No.
They think this is just for businesses. What's your response to that?
Well, church marketing as a term being used doesn't go back that far. It's really only been in the last, I'd say, 15, 20 years that you even find that term being used. And as you would expect, there's been a lot of opposition to the idea of marketing a church because a lot of people think that it's not appropriate to be using the kind of techniques and processes that have been used for-profit organizations in a setting such as churches would have.
Dr. Wrenn, let me go through a couple of clarifications for our audience. Marketing, public relations, advertising. Break out the differences because sometimes they tend to get a little bit fuzzy in our understanding.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I think that a lot of the misunderstanding about the use of marketing by religious organizations is centered around a misunderstanding about what marketing really is. Marketing is sometimes thought of as synonymous with terms like promotion or selling, but professional marketers don't see it that way at all. They make a distinction between those terms. A simple definition of marketing might be that marketing is satisfying needs through mutually beneficial exchange. Now that's a mouthful. Let me kind of unpack that a little bit. Exchange can certainly exist for goods and services, what we typically think of as being marketed. But exchange also exists for things like places. Chicago, for example, is trying to get the 2016 Olympics there. So they're marketing Chicago to the Olympic Committee to try and get them to locate the Olympics there.
Basically showing their benefits.
That's right. Persons, politicians do marketing when they're trying to get your vote in exchange for representing you in government.
Now, how does that differ from advertising?
Well, the process of exchange basically says, I want something that has value to me that you have. In exchange, I want to give you something that I have that has value to you. Sometimes that's money, but with a politician, it's not money, at least we hope it's not,
right.
That it's going to be representation. So what is being exchanged doesn't always have to involve currency. So marketing is everything that takes place that ends up resulting in exchange occurring.
Okay, so for a church, give us some examples of what marketing would look like for a local congregation.
Well, even small local congregations have ministries that they're involved with doing. Those ministries might be within the church for the church members, or they may be outreach ministries where they're trying to do good, to actually satisfy some type of need that exists out in the outside the church in exchange for those people using the ministries and benefiting from it. So it might be a stop smoking program. You want to get people to attend the stop smoking program. In exchange, their health is improved. But within the church, it could be divorce counseling, grief recovery. My wife is involved with, at Pioneer Memorial Church, a church in the Midwest of about 3,000 members, with grief recovery. So if you're offering grief recovery ministry to your members, it's with the idea of accomplishing the goal of actually helping them through their grief. You wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
So is marketing then bathed or sometimes interrelated with advertising? I mean, is advertising an aspect of marketing?
It is, but it comes way down the line. For example, in our book, we have a chapter on advertising, but that's chapter 10. And that's really, I think, emblematic of the fact that when you get to advertising, you've already done a lot of marketing before you get there. So, for example, if you're going to be effective in the for-profit world, in the not-for-profit world, in church settings and so forth, you're going to be more effective if you've taken the point of view of the people that you want to engage in an exchange.
So therefore you have to evaluate your target audience or your target market,
right,
so that you can reach them and you're not overshooting them or not connecting with and communicating effectively. You know, I want to talk more about that because I see that there are actually 3 authors that came together to write this book. So obviously you shared a common passion with some other men. So Dr. Wrenn, thank you again for being with us. And thank you very much for watching. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these words. For more information about any of the books presented today on Between the Lines, visit your local Adventist Book Center or go online at www.adventistbookcenter.com. If you're interested in receiving a copy of today's book and live in the United States and Canada, call 1-800-765-6955. Again, that's 1-800-765-6955.